we're con crunching this cosplay, okay? I got sick at WonderCon. I've been sick for a week. We leave for Japan in 10 days, and I need to have a new cosplay for Japan. So this was a little bit last minute, but the wonderful ladies that are going to be on the Star Wars panel with me at Celebration wanted to do a group costume that was a mashup of Sailor Moon and Star Wars. Of course, I said yes, and I'm going to be mashing up Queen Amidala and Sailor Mars. So because I'm only working with so little time, I bought this base cosplay on Amazon, and I'm gonna make some changes to it. So I wanted to walk you guys through it. First things first, the dress is way too big. I'm gonna have to take it in the back or maybe the sides, but just make sure that I have a waist, but also that it's not too short. I'm going to swap out this purple bow for a gold bow, and if I have time, I'd like to make a little brooch of like the little Naboo crest. I think that would be a really cute detail. Not crazy about this choker. It's too small and it just looks really cheap. Same with the headband. I have my Empress Amidala crown that I'm thinking maybe would work better than this. This is also like way too tight and gonna give me a headache. My Princess Leia boots are perfect for this cosplay. Hopefully they're in frame. I'm gonna wear these because it matches the white and just like the overall vibe. And then the most fun detail, and I think what's really gonna drive home that this is Queen Amidala, is I got this fur that I'm gonna add. So I'm going to add it to the waistline. So I did this very crudely, but all the way around the waistline. And then I want to add it to the cape. So I'm thinking like, you know, something like this that looks reminiscent of how her gown is. And I'm hoping that it comes across how I envisioned. I don't have a lot of time, but hopefully we can make this work. Excuse the red mark on my head from the other headband, but here's how it looks with this crown. So might be too much, but I don't think Padmé ever tells herself that's too much. And I think the headpiece might really drive home that it is Amidala. She's known for her headpieces and her crazy hair. So yeah, hopefully this all comes together. May the force be with me. Yeah, they had small or extra large, and I was like, well, if small is too small, it's not gonna work.
Is this a small?
Yeah.
And the small was too small?
Yeah. The problem is that like certain sizes, they have like, oh, it ships tomorrow. And then other sizes is like in a month. My mother-in-law is always a lifesaver when it comes to doing last-minute cosplays. She's taught me everything I know about sewing. But for this project, I was like, I just need you to help me make this happen because I only had 1 day to do this all. And I didn't want anything to go horribly wrong, you know, and I didn't want to have any wardrobe malfunctions on the celebration stage. So I told her about the idea of the mashup. I showed her some reference photos, and then she kind of just took it from there. So the first thing we had to do was fix the silhouette. I had to buy the costume in size extra large, and I usually am size medium. So this was 2 sizes too big, so we had to take some off the sides, and then we also had to separate the top and the skirt so that we could make the adjustments that we needed. And I'm not gonna lie, I was really nervous about this cosplay. I've never done something so last minute, and I kind of bit off more than I could chew, deciding to do a Sailor Scout that's inspired by Padmé, because every outfit of hers is so exquisite. The design, construction, materials, everything is at the highest caliber, including her hair, makeup, and headpieces, her accessories. So the pressure was on. It was definitely pressure that I put on myself, but I just wanted to do it right, you know? I just love her so much. And at the end of the day, I have so much fun cosplaying her. It's just the satisfaction of like when it turns out how you want it to. It's just that much better. It's just a matter of getting there. You know what I'm saying? Are you helping, Mom? Are you making a costume?
I think he wants to see.
He just wants the camera. He loves the camera. Come here. Rummy, rummy, rummy.
sí. Le estaba tomando.
Yummy. 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 Merdy. Come here, Merdy. Come here.
Is that right? It's to complete one. Okay, turn around. Yes.
Here is a great example of why I could not do this cosplay last minute by myself. Just threading the machine would have taken me 45 minutes. I can do it, but I can't do it quickly. So I absolutely needed Claudia's help for this one. I also have a bad habit of thinking I can just eyeball something and not read the directions. And then I do the thing for like an hour. And then I realize that I did it wrong and I have to undo it and then do it again. So in order to minimize any crash outs, you know, I let her do her thing. She knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing. I was just there for like moral support. But on a serious note, I am definitely a visual learner, so it does really help me just watch her sew. And recording it is also amazing because not only do I get to post it online for you guys, but I also get to come back to this as a reference and watch it whenever I need to. So yeah, it's a win-win. Now at this point, I was kind of second guessing myself because it's obviously leaning more Sailor Mars than it is leaning Padmé, but it just felt like it was gonna be too simple, and I didn't know if it was gonna have that, like, I don't know, just that impact that a Padmé Amidala gown has. But I was just telling myself, trust the process. We're still at the very beginning. We're honestly still just fixing the silhouette. We haven't gotten to any of the details that are going to make it look like Padmé. So, you know, I just had to talk myself off a cliff a little bit, but but we were making progress, okay? Slow and steady. We were making progress, and it was starting to fit me, which is more than I can say about a lot of my other cosplays. So, we were making it happen. We were making it happen. We took a quick lunch break and then I tried on my costume and thank God it fit.
Let me see.
My butt gonna be up?
A little bit.
I have shorts, so I'm
Okay.
gonna wear underneath. Now this is where the costume started to look like it was Padmé's costume. I bought this 4-inch faux fur, and this was the perfect detail pulled from the trim on her gown, honestly, in my opinion.
Chuck.
Oh my god.
Beautiful.
Abraham Lincoln?
The Abraham Lincoln.
Eric.
Bosco.
Come with mom.
The bearded lady.
Those like eyes that has the dress.
Yeah. I was trying to see if I could find something like that, but you just have to make it. There is no greater feeling than when you realize your cosplay actually does look good. Your idea was good, the execution's good, and it's gonna work out. Now it is time to work on the accessories. So one of the most memorable parts of the Sailor Scouts costumes is definitely the giant bow that they wear. Sailor Mars's bow is purple, which obviously was not going to work for Padmé, so I decided to pick up this very pretty gold shimmery fabric to give that kind of luxe vibe. Pretty much her whole costume is that like royal red and then gold details, so I thought this would be nice to kind of pull the whole look together. Just had like 1x1 squares of just like linen fabric. That's all they had.
You're kidding.
I swear.
Yeah, it's only Walmart now?
Yeah.
Or Michael's, no?
What is it?
Michael's doesn't have
Like, what is it?
anything.
What do you
Oh, no?
No.
If you put like a hanger on your
They have a lot of crocheting
right
and... Looking back at it now, it's definitely giving like Dance Mom's last minute costume. But this was the only gold fabric that Walmart had. And now that all the fabric stores around me have closed, this was the best I could do. So is it giving super expensive, luxe, fabulous royalty? Maybe not. But it does what it needs to do. It gives a little shimmer, a little sparkle, and it's gold. So it's cute. I like it. Whenever I work on a Padmé cosplay, I just literally cannot fathom how much work must have gone into creating her entire wardrobe for the prequels. Things did not exist. Like, it had to be a concept, a sketch, a rough draft. How many iterations were there of each outfit? There's no way that they loved it on the first go. And I think that's what's so special about cosplaying is like how much time it takes to recreate something with hundreds of references. It really makes you appreciate the time and energy and dedication and skill that went into making these costumes. And it makes me love them even more. Cute. We have a bow. It takes a village. Your mom said this cosplay isn't difficult enough. So
It was too easy, so we need
yeah,
to
yeah.
put something more.
That's it? No.
No, let's put something else.
This was a very last minute decision, but we decided to add sleeves to the cosplay because it just needed more drama. And honestly, the sleeves and like the fur around the cuffs are just such an iconic part of the cosplay. So luckily I had this extra fabric and we were able to make it happen.
There you go. This will be the sleeve.
I'm glad I had this extra fabric because they did not have this at Walmart.
No?
No. I was lucky to find the gold.
Que derechita la corte. We're gonna take those spikes off. Right. I need to pull it this side so it doesn't get stuck in the bottom. Who said it wasn't gonna look like Amidala? We don't want them to confuse it with Ewok.
Yeah. No one's gonna believe we made this in one day.
We always do it.
I know. Is that gonna cover my hand though?
I think so. You don't want it to cover your hand?
Probably not.
Okay, then
We
because
make
this
it
one
a-
is right.
That's right to my wrist.
Let me put it over here then.
Yeah. You can cover a little bit. I just don't want to be like not
Okay,
able
no.
to do anything. You know what I mean?
You want to try it?
You want to try it on?
Yeah.
Okay. At this point, we could finally see the finish line, and honestly, this is the best feeling when you are almost done and nothing has gone terribly wrong. cute. Next, we added the faux fur to the collar, and I think this looked really good. Honestly, I was really happy with how this turned out. It looks very reminiscent of the collar on her gown. And this was honestly just a really cool fabric to work with. I've never worked with fur before, and it was definitely finicky. I mean, you had to make sure that the hairs were all laying down exactly the way you wanted before you sewed them on, or else they were permanently gonna lie that way. But it was just so cool, just seeing all of this come together, and I really like the contrast between the red fabric and the fur. It looked great. Who are you talking to? So far. The very last thing was to make the tabard. So originally I was not going to make this. I was going to add the gold appliques to the back of the collar. But once we made the costume, we realized, you know, you're not really going to see it. It's only if you're looking at the back of my cosplay. So Claudia just banged this one out. She did it so quick. Like, this would have taken me all day. But she was like, yeah, we'll just make it really quick. And we decided to make it a permanent addition to the cosplay, so we sewed it right onto it. I also probably would have forgot it when I was packing, so it was better to just sew it on.
Looks like a haircut.
The hair was looking too much like Ewok or Wookiee fur, so we decided to give it a little trim. And then Claudia added these iron-on patches to the tabard. I did end up adding a Padmé headpiece to this cosplay. I had to. We needed something that just screamed Padmé. This was kind of a disaster. I used these stickers that, you know, probably weren't the best. I also used paint that stuck to the stickers. So ideally, I should have taken the stones off and spray painted them, but I just didn't have the time. I did this the day before we left, and, you know, it's just one of those projects that's like, just don't look too closely, and it looks great. Say it with me. This is why we don't procrastinate. Don't be this guy. You do not want to be this guy. Crashing out over this. Oh my god, look at it. Look at it. Oh no. Oh god. It's okay. I have never finished a cosplay so last minute, but she's done. I just need to touch up the headpiece because the orange kind of leaked through, so I need to cover that with black. But here's the final look. I already packed up the shoes. I can't believe I did it. I'm so happy with how it turned out. It looks 100 times better on than just like laid flat, but oh my god. I'm so excited for this group cosplay. And here is the final look. I am so excited with how this cosplay turned out. It was such a crazy journey from start to finish, but I'm so glad I got to be a part of this wonderful panel and this group cosplay. Thanks for watching.